That song George Yancey does about the couple that get married when they're older, and the guy doesn't really know much about the woman. So after they wed, they get ready for bed. She takes off her teeth and her hair and places in the chair. Her legs she lays by the wall. Her hearing aid and something else goes somewhere else. And says, I was so brokenhearted, most of my bride had departed. So I slept in the chair, there was more of her there. So one of my great memories is Larry and I sitting in the motel room just crying, laughing over that song. Nothing about the hunt.
So, are there any traditions in sheep hunting?
Oh my, there are. One of them came over from Europe, not necessarily sheep, but chamois and the Himalayan goats, not Himalayan, but alpine goats that live behind the mountains. They have a tradition of breaking off a sprig of some bush or grass or tree where the animal lived, dipping it into blood and then placing it in the animal's mouth. That's a tradition we still follow. The other one is to bury the heart.
Right where it fell.
Right where it fell. Yeah. That's a great tradition. We've been doing that with the buffalo as well.
Is that European or Native American? The heart.
The heart, yeah, that's Native American. Yeah.
What's the belief in that?
That you're returning part of that animal where it
Back
lived,
to nature.
the land from where it came.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, take a bite out of it first.
Well, that's also a tradition which I have participated in. Take a bite of the raw heart. I haven't done that. Almost, but that Dall sheep. I was close.
So how about the taste of the sheep meat once it's cooked? Like, what are the differences in
There are.
the regional?
Yes, there are regional differences. Amazingly, sheep are, for the most part, very healthy and fat. Even though the mountains look barren, there's lots and lots of grass. And the grass in those mountains is extremely nutritious. It's cured grass, so it has 2 or 3 times the value of alfalfa. But for my taste, the Dall sheep is best. It was by far. Next would be the bighorn, and then the stone.
And this one's
Bighorn
last.
in the desert, those two are classed as bighorns because they typically have more massive bases than the horns. The Dall and the stone are called thin horns, and they live north of the Peace River. They're not found south of that. And they typically have less massive bases, but outward flaring horns, more of an argali type. So they don't broom off as much as these bighorns. When that horn gets up here in line with his eye and interferes with the vision, they'll rub it off on the rocks. They do. Those rams get so old, they'll burn that off.
And what was your biggest sheep out of the 4? Weight-wise?
The Rocky Mountain.
Rocky Mountain.
Yep.
And then in order from there down?
From there down, I would say the Dall, desert, and the stones are smallest. Typically, the desert are the smallest. That was a big ram. I'll have you
Come on. So what was
Go
your
ahead,
longest?
Sam, tell the story about when we were down at Zimmerman's, when we went in and we came out.
Yeah, well, Davey tells that story better.
I was with Sam when we took his sheep down to the taxidermist. And whole body. Yeah, he's gonna do a whole body now, huh? We took the horns and the head and the hide, and we went in and they had, I don't know, 5 or 6 desert rams already mounted, full mounts. And Sam and I got to talking and I said, Sam, they only have a neck that big around on them. I said, these things might weigh 130 pounds. I said, that one of yours dwarfs these. Well, just then, his chest got big.
That's mine, bro.
To be truthful with you, his ram totally dwarfed anyone they hit. It was that much bigger.
So the longest shot, which ran? Oh, sorry.
Stoke,
And how far was it?
250 yards with 50-mile-an-hour wind. So now get this scenario. I had wanted to hunt sheep all those decades. I'd saved my money for 4 years. I traveled to northern British Columbia. We laid in a tent for 9 days. This was the 10th and final day of the hunt. We get on this ram about 9 o'clock in the morning. And the guide says, it's 250 yards. I don't know what to tell you about the wind. Well, the wind was that you could hardly lay still. It was 40 to 50 miles an hour, straight crushing. So I fired and missed. Saw the dirt fly all the way behind the ram. Talk about a high to low. My heart went all the way into my heels. I'm like, oh, after all of that, and I missed. Whew. So fortunately, the ram didn't know where the shot came from. He stood up
Might have saved you.
broadside.
The wind might have saved you from hearing.
It did. The
Shot
wind
where?
confused him. And when he stood up, I knew I had to hold all the way off his body. Never had done that before. So I'm holding the crosshairs in open space. It hit him perfect.
Oh,
So
you adjusted.
I was gusted and disgusted.
So was that also your most difficult then, I have to imagine?
I don't know if that would be or not. The bighorn was pretty difficult. It was 240 yards. But he was lying uphill on an angle and facing away a little bit. And there was some wind. And again, Larry said it's 240 yards. I don't know what to tell you about the wind. Well, there's nothing you can tell me. That's just instinct. So I held the crosshair right here, right in front of his hind quarter, and hit him perfect through both lungs. So those were the two difficult shots. Doll sheep was 150 yards, pretty straightforward. And the difficulty with this desert sheep was not the distance, but my unstable condition. Shaky.
So what's next?
What's next?
What's
Well,
the super slam? You're not going for that?
Super Slam. People. Your family. Larry did invite me. He and his wife drew a bighorn tag in Montana this year after 46 years.
Oh my goodness.
She was 24 when she started to apply, and she's 70.
Maybe you, maybe. No.
So they were gracious enough to invite me to go with them November 1st to probably help pack it out. That's what I do best.
That's very shy.
So that's next. I'm going to go with them and try to help her get
That's cool.
probably her last sheep. They're so hard. It's so hard to get the tags. And before you know it, years pass by, and unless you've kept yourself in the best physical shape possible, you don't have a chance. One thing about sheep hunting is different from any other. You can't ride in a pickup truck. You can't take a four-wheeler. You can't take a horse. You have to get yourself up there. So physical conditioning is paramount.
And if you lose your walking stick,
You lose your walking stick, you're cutting it up. I lost mine in Wyoming. And a kind gentleman found it and called Larry up. Said, hey, I found this walking stick along with a seat pad. Larry carries a foam pad to sit on. had his name and number on it. Guy calls him up, said, I found this walking stick and seat pad. And I said, well, where are you? And he told him he was in the same campground we were. I got it back.
So January, you get your.
January 29th, we'll go to Las Vegas, get the Grand Slam award. The award ceremony is Friday, January 20th.
20th.
29th.
29th.
January 29th, Friday night, we'll go get the bronze plaque that I'm gonna bequeath to you.
Yep. Just so everyone knows, we're all going. Maybe
That's
not everyone in
awesome.
the room, but the whole
Woo!
We're gonna go. And, all these mounts that I'm accumulating are gonna be coming to you. Dispose of as
Build a
you see
room.
fit.
Jerry has a garage
Jerry
now.
has a second garage.
Yeah.
He has a chicken coop.
The chicken coop must be the
The museum.
yeah, the museum share.
So you guys have questions, go for it. I'm gonna wrap mine up pretty much.
I have one. What did you do after you shot it? Like, how'd you get it back?
Well, we skinned it out, bone out the meat, and the guides are well prepared. They have heavy plastic bags, like Ziploc bags, that they put the big chunks of meat in, put it in your backpack, and you carry it out. And that's the law. You have to retrieve all edible meat, which is good. It's good law, but it's a heavy load. That head, the head with the hide had to be 60 pounds by itself, and then all the meat.
And there was three or four?
There's three of us.
Three of us?
And I carried the water bottle and the binoculars. No, I'm just kidding. I had a pretty heavy load too. It was amazing. I didn't expect that my hips would hurt. I never have a hip ache. My hips ached like I needed a replacement or something.
You've never been this old before.
I don't carry that much weight normally. So I had to try to find these rocks that were about that high so I could rest that pack on there for a minute and get it onto my hip bone. Oh, and then it was hot. I was afraid of rattlesnakes. You know, that's another thing. The northern sheep, the doll and the stone, I worry about grizzly bears because we saw so many all the time. The desert sheep, I worried about rattlesnakes. So from grizzly bears to rattlesnakes, that's dangerous.